I got good audio, I'm good. Okay?
In between your mark.
Yep,
There you go.
perfect.
Anything else?
Looking at him the whole time.
Look at him. I thought you wanted to sign it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The camera's not here. You two
Yeah,
just have a
no,
conversation.
but you wanted me to angle, so.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Just,
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
all right.
Hold up. I'm gonna hide this cotton now. Okay.
Can you share your journey from homelessness to where you are now, and what were some of the key turning points for you?
I would love to share that with you. It all started in Dallas, Texas. I was working for the world's largest aviation company. I had a great career. I had everything going for me. And then, out of nowhere, I had a huge psychotic break. I got locked up in the state psych ward, and then I was in psychosis. And when I came to, I was back in Indiana. So in the blink of an eye, I lost everything. So I was at my dad's abusive house when I came to. Well, I ended up in the domestic violence shelter. And then I started hanging out with friends, couch surfing. At first I didn't even realize that I was homeless. Like, my company kept my medical and stuff for a year, and all my 401k was gone because I was in and out of the psych ward. Just gone. So what I would do is I had so many friends from high school and college and what have you. So I would just go stay with them and like watch their kids, do the dishes or something, and I'd stay until I felt like I was an inconvenience. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out, I'm gonna go there. Well, then one day it hit me. You're homeless. You have nothing. Eventually I didn't have $1 to my name. I went from a huge career to on the streets for 10 years. Had everything. And the thing is, it can happen to anybody. You can have everything going for you like I did and then just, lose it. So I was homeless for 10 years. What happened was, because of the couch surfing, I did find out about Lafayette Transitional Housing. And so what I'd do is I would go in there and I would eat and I would get buddies that I would hang out with during the day. But being homeless is difficult. You have times when you can't be at the day center, you can't be at the shelter. There's off times where you're on the streets with nothing to do. And unfortunately, with my mental health, I became addicted and a hot mess, addicted to alcohol. It got so bad that I would shake so bad. I would get up in the middle of the night and have to have a drink. It was terrible. It was awful. So I spent a long time on the streets because I didn't take advantage of the services that Lafayette Transitional had, besides eating there, getting clothing. Back then, this is when we were at the Howard Center. And I would go to my case management appointments, but I was in such a haze that I didn't really didn't take advantage of all the services. They have wonderful services, but I was just in such a haze I didn't know what to do, and I was in and out of the hospital. So that would complicate things because I would get out of the system and then come back in and kind of like lose my place in line for housing. It was very difficult.
Thank you.
You bet.
Were there any resources specifically or support systems that were particularly helpful during your transition?
Definitely being able to be fed. I mean, when I was homeless, I got fat, honestly. Lafayette Transitional Housing offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then the Lafayette Urban Ministry Night Shelter, you get a light snack. So if you stay in the system and, you go in there and behave and follow the rules, Lafayette Transitional Housing keeps you fed and safe, and they have so many services that, they're wonderful. You just have to take advantage of them and utilize them, and that was my mistake. Because like I said before, I wasn't there, I was self-medicating with alcohol.
Thank you. Can you describe a moment of hope or inspiration during your time of homelessness that helped you stay motivated?
I would love to share this. It's a weird scenario. So I was in permanent supportive housing, and when I moved in, I was at the 8th Street Commons, the Lafayette Transitional Housing 8th Street Commons. And so when I first moved in, there were buddies of mine that were already housed before me. So when I first got there, it was like, wow, I have a roof, we can still party, And that's how it was probably for the first 3 months. Just drinking and being thankful for having a roof over my head and being safe. Because when I was on the streets, I never knew what was going to happen to me. I was raped one time. But my turning point was when I went into the television room at my permanent supportive housing building, and there was an old man there. And I said, oh my. And then I took another look around, and I saw people that just weren't doing anything with their life. And it was kind of like looking in the mirror. I said, do I really want to die here? Do I want to live my life like this for the rest of my life? Seeing that old man there at his age and just sitting there watching TV doing nothing, that was a big turning point. I said, I've got to do something. So what I did is I really took a look at myself and I said, I need to address my mental health. And the only way to address my mental health was to stop drinking. So what I did after, the inspiration of seeing that old man, like, do I really want to die here? I'm just being honest, I got drunk as a skunk one last time, and then I went to Sycamore Springs to detox, and I haven't had a drop since, almost 6 years sober. So I got sober within a year of being in permanent supportive housing, and that's what permanent supportive housing does. That's what LTHC offers, is that permanent supportive housing gets you off the streets, and then you can work on your issues and build yourself back. And what I like to call it is reclaiming your life. You got to make the decision to do something with your life. You just can't stay stagnant. So within a year, I was able to complete the program of permanent supportive housing, and I got out on my own. I have my own place now. I have my very own place. It's so much better being on the streets, and it's great. I'm safe. I'm doing different things with my life. Every day I get up out of bed, I challenge myself, and what I found works for me is doing it with my schizophrenia, is doing things in 3-hour increments. So I will do one job for this, another job for 3 hours, and then it just flows, and it helps me stay stable, and I'm medication compliant and sober. So my life has just gotten better with the help of LTHC.
Thank you. Looking back, what are you most proud of achieving since overcoming homelessness?
Getting sober is one. It's tied with having my own dog service business. It's tied with that. I'm trying to better myself every day I used to say get back to where I was in life, but that's not right. I want to get back above where I was in life and move on.
Thank you. What misconceptions do you think people have about homelessness that you would like to address?
Great question. It's awful, the stigma related to homelessness. The way people look at someone on the streets, laying there or not dressed properly. That's the way people see homelessness. They see that old man with a bottle and a brown bag. That's not how it is. Everybody has a story. And you don't understand their story until you listen to them and show compassion, patience, and give them hope. It drives me bonkers that people judge homeless so bad. And it's scary right now with the housing market. I see it every day. There's elderly people on Social Security that cannot afford rent right now that are homeless. I live right by the night shelter now. My own place is right there by the night shelter. So I see the homeless going in and out of the shelter. And there's so many handicapped elderly people that can't afford housing on their Social Security. It's so sad. So it's not always what people imagine. Someone that's, a drug addict, an alcoholic. Yeah, they may have those problems, but they don't have housing because it's not available and it's not affordable. Almost, I would fathom to guess that probably at least 45% of people are one paycheck away or less from being homeless. So you shouldn't judge. What are you going to do if your life suddenly changes? You have a tragedy happen in your life. You could easily be in their shoes. Everybody, like I said, everybody has a different story. So until you hear it and understand it, don't look at somebody like that. Look at yourself.
Thank you.
You bet.
How do you stay connected to and give back to the community or causes related to homelessness now?
Giving back is the most important to me, and I love doing it. I'm one of those people that remembers the people that helped me. It truly touches my heart when I look back and see all those people that gave me hope and inspiration and did things for me. So now I'm on the board of directors at Lafayette Transitional Housing. I'm a spokesperson and advocate for mental health. I have my own business. I do consulting and just changed my life.
Thank you.
You bet.
Is there anything else that you need to hear or see?
I think we've got a lot of good stuff. Well, obviously not all of it. Some of it I think you can use in social media personally.
Yeah.
There's
I want to
anything
say
else?
something important. I'm trying to think how you could ask me it.
What is it you want to say?
Is it
I
on-
want to say,
on here?
what was it? Leighton wanted me to address something, and I kind of tied it in, but I didn't want to like straight up say it. Let's see.
About a specific service or...
Basically, I need to say you can't get better without housing.
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Same spot.
Major Mark.
Dave, stand by. Okay, go ahead, Joshua.
What advice would you give to someone currently experiencing homelessness based on your own experience in terms of housing and why it's important?
I actually do try to do that and give back every day. What I do is I go and share my story. And I share with them my experience, my mistakes, and I give them advice. And I tell them, you probably can't get better until you get housing. You can't get well without housing. That's where it starts, is getting a safe place to stay so you can work on your issues and overcome them and get back in society and be a productive citizen. Housing is crucial. Housing matters.
That's it. Okay.
Do you